Hi everyone and welcome back to Fresh Snack. Today I'm going to show you the video tutorial for the Illusion Crossbody bag. I'm going to show you how to work the front and the back crocheting around the rope and also the side and the bottom pieces. To start off, what you'll want to do is create a slip knot just as you normally would on any other project. Then you're going to take your rope and place it on top of your working yarn. Make sure that both your yarn tails are on the same side. You're going to yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Pull your yarn tail nice and tight so that it's secure around the rope. Then you're going to simply single crochet around the rope. So you'll take your hook and put it under the rope, yarn over, and pull up on top of the rope, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Let's do that again. You're going to take your hook under the rope, yarn over, pull it on top of the rope, yarn over, and pull through both loops. You'll do this until you have 10 stitches on your rope, and then I'll walk you through what to do next when we get to the end. Alright, we have our 10 stitches done, so what you're going to want to do is hold your rope and then just slide your stitches down until they're close together. This is going to help to make sure that you don't have a hole in the center of your bag and creates that tight circle. Now you're going to take your yarn tails and you're going to twist them around until you're back to your first stitch in your setup row. Then you're going to locate your first stitch, and that's where you're going to start. You're going to single crochet 2 times while your rope is laying on top of your work. So single crochet 2 times in that first stitch, and then 2 times in each stitch until you have 20 stitches. Alright, our 20 stitches are now complete, and we're going to slide them down the same way we did earlier. Pull your rope and slide your stitches down so less rope is being exposed. Now we'll just continue on with the pattern as it's written, increasing each round until your front and back pieces are complete. I would highly recommend you grab your stitch marker and mark that first stitch so that you don't lose track of where your rounds begin. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to finish the ends of your rope by using hot glue. So you're going to cut your yarn and then pull through as you normally would to secure that last stitch. Then you're going to take your rope and trim it as close as possible to that last stitch in that round. Now you're going to want to get your hot glue and have it warmed up at this point. And then you're just going to place a little bead there on the end of that rope, making sure that you get a little bit of the glue on the yarn as well. Make sure you're using hot glue that dries clear so that it is less noticeable when you are finished with your bag. So I'm just putting a little dollop of the glue on the end here, and then I'm going to let it cool for just a second, and then I'm going to kind of smush it down to make sure that it's catching the yarn and the rope all at the same time. Alright, so I'm going to kind of just spread the glue around. It's going to be a little bit warm, so you just want to give it a second to cool. Mine cools pretty fast. And then I'm just kind of smashing it down so that it's flat and not as noticeable. Now we'll do the starting of our bag, and you're going to do the same process. You're going to trim that rope as close as possible, and then you're going to put a bead of the glue right on the end there, and then you're going to press it down until it's flat. And then you're going to want to weave in your ends just as you normally would. So I kind of wait until it's a little bit tacky, and you can see that it kind of just lays nice and flat and it's less noticeable. Now I'm going to walk you through some tips for working the sides and the bottom piece of your bag. The setup row is the exact same as what we had done before, except following pattern directions you'll have 14 stitches instead of 10. And then again, you will slide the stitches down the rope so that they're closer together. Now, to move on to the next row, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to take your rope and loop it around so that it is laying on top of your first row. Then you're going to single crochet around the rope and in each stitch until you reach the end. Then you will chain 1 and repeat those steps again until you have completed the sides and bottom of your bag. One tip I will pass along is that as you're creating this portion of the bag, it is easiest to complete about 7 stitches and then stop and then slide those stitches down before moving on to the remaining stitches on that row. It's just a lot easier to slide down 7 stitches versus the 14 stitches. Your work is going to want to do somewhat of a rainbow effect, so you're just going to want to make sure that you slide them down so that your stitches lay straight and the pieces lay flat. You might have to twist your stitches around your rope so they're not curving around. Another thing to pay attention to is the ends of your rows. You can see here when I turned it, I have a little bit of a loop on the end, and as I pull my rope through my stitches to get them closer together, it removes that little loop at the end. Want to make sure that you pay attention to that on each row that you turn. When you've finished following the pattern instructions for this piece of the bag, you're going to want to hot glue your ends as I had shown you before by trimming your rope close to the end of your rows and placing a bead of glue. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial and that it was helpful, and I hope you love your new summer illusion crossbody bag.